Hello, I'm Charles Yardley, CEO of the Evening Standard. Thank you very much for joining us today for our virtual event, Setting the New Standard. In this short session today, we'll be taking a look into our exciting future, a future that gives complete clarity on how you, our marketing partners, our agency partners, can be part of our vision for success. So I hope you come away today feeling informed, invigorated by what you learn, and intrigued by some of our new products and services, and inspired by our editorial plans. You'll be hearing more details from the commercial team shortly, and also from our editor, Emily Sheffield, all of whom across editorial, sales, distribution, operations, all of these divisions continue to impress me with their focus, their dedication, and their innovation through what has undoubtedly been one of the most challenging periods of our careers. So first, I want to lay out how I see our business evolving in the next 12 months. You'll be hearing a lot about how our plans will improve the Evening Standard that you see today, but also that the strategy is not just externally facing. Internally, we are committed to a number of projects that will support the work life of our teams, including a deep focus on diversity and inclusion that will in turn have a positive impact on our journalism. Our mission is clear. We're building a business that's as big as the brand, and we're bringing the business back to profit with a clear strategy and vision. Think of the Evening Standard as a startup or a startup mentality, but it just so happened to be founded in 1827. And in 1827, Stanley Lees Gifford had an idea, and that was to create a paper that gained eminence for its detailed foreign news and in time becoming a newspaper that was about aspiration, entrepreneurialism, and London succeeding. This hasn't changed. It remains our purpose, it remains unwavered today, and it will come as no surprise to any of you when I say that the publishing business has changed, and consequently, it's time for a fresh response. So in a time when the landscape of publishing has changed in record time and a global pandemic has seen some trends stopped in their tracks while others accelerate at record speed, we too are moving at pace. In the last 6 months, we've made significant changes to our business in response to the needs of the publishing market and our readers. These will in turn enable deeper, more profitable relationships for you, our partners. We've built a newsroom for news people. We've reversed our publishing model to ensure that our digital estate is always considered first, and we put data and technology at the very core of everything we do. It is without question that newsrooms must produce content that work for journalists, the audience, and marketers, the three vital constituencies of any media business. That requires creative collaboration between editors, sales, and marketing people. But none of that means less editorial independence. The clear priority on the editorial floor is to break news stories every day, and we've been very successful at that in recent months. But what does this mean for you? If we think of publishing as a series of concentric circles with the Evening Standard content at the core, our goal is then to match and lock in place the right elements within each ring for every story and every brand. And as audiences continue to fragment, we're doing this to help our journalism and our business. If you get it right, and it works for the journalists, marketers, and brands alike, ensuring quality content reaches the right audiences. I'm going to hand over now to the team to give you more details behind this shift in our business outlook, a sneak peek of some of the new projects that we brought to market. But before that, I also wanted to show you a little bit about what we've achieved at the Evening Standard and what we're proud about over the last 12 months. Thank you very much.
Actually is proposing Joe Biden a pretty radical plan for dealing with climate change.
More patients who had symptom burden, i.e. breathlessness. Why have you decided to launch this project?
All decided to come together and do it. I mean, truth be told, I didn't realize that there was a Black History Month in Britain. I think from a standpoint of everything that's going on in the world, but mostly just because it's about celebrating community.
Hi, I'm James White, Chief Commercial Officer at the Evening Standard, and today I'll be guiding you through our Setting the New Standard event. You've already heard a little bit from Charles about what we will cover and seen some of our highlights from a challenging yet progressive year. But what else will you see today? Shortly, you'll be hearing from our editor, Emily Sheffield, about her vision for our brand, and also our lead investigative award-winning reporter, David Cohen, on what journalism means to him. You will also be hearing from Deborah Roseneck, our Chief Client Officer, on some of our campaigning initiatives that have led to best-in-class partnerships. This section will showcase our collaboration with editorial, as well as bringing alive our growing events portfolio. Dan Locke, Chief Commercial Content Officer, and Paul Mikhailoff, our Chief Product Officer, will be talking about some emerging trends and discussing how brands can take advantage of some of those new digitally led products. Finally, we'll be launching our second edition of our Be London's Headline, a competition for you to win a standout campaign for your client or your brand. But before all of that, I want to take a moment to thank you, our partners, for all of your support in 2020. Let's not pretend things were easy across publishing, or in fact the majority of the media industry, with perhaps 2 or 3 exceptions. But throughout this challenging period, you've been curious, supportive, and open to our position. You have challenged us, respected us, and you have understood and worked with us on some fantastic campaigns that we're all very proud of. So thank you. Today is about looking forward and setting the new standard. So, the Evening Standard, the gateway to your evening, your daily look at world affairs, your go-to for what's on in the capital, where to live, eat or shop, your daily news podcast fix or weekly magazine moment, whatever the Evening Standard means to you, you join 2.6 million people a day who integrate our content into their lives. We have a rich history and an exciting future, a future that is being shaped by the simple fact that 84% of our Evening Standard audience is mobile, and 82% of that mobile audience is aged between 18 and 44. Throughout 2021 and beyond, we will be bringing together our wonderful platforms. Across digital, we have a range of new premium commercial products that Dan and Paul will expand on. Print, the newspaper, remains the gateway to our brand and is a vital component in our news telling. And ES Magazine continues to deliver a weekly life and style injection. Across audio, our award-winning podcast portfolio, from daily editions of our news roundup, The Leader, to hugely successful Tech and Science Daily and the powerful Women Tech Charge. In events, you'll hear more about our up-and-coming ES Live virtual hybrid events across 2021. And lastly, in video, our new site is enabling growth in our video content that further enhances both the user experience and the commercial opportunity. All of these content platforms create the Evening Standard brand and reflect our young, affluent audience and makes it easier for you to access. I'll now hand you over to Emily to tell you more about how that looks for the editorial team.
Hello everybody, I'm Emily Sheffield, editor of the Evening Standard. I'm immensely proud to be editor here, especially in such challenging times. We're consistently filing and delivering stories that beat far bigger news organisations down for speed, accuracy, and our features are brilliant and bursting with creativity. In 2021, we are continuing to act fast, be brave and innovate with an entrepreneur's attitude to growth. The opportunities, despite the substantial challenges of the pandemic, are huge and exciting. We have evolved both digitally and editorially, and we are developing one of the most interactive and visual news platforms in the media. London leads the world for technology, design and style. Everything we produce from here on will reflect the city we represent. Digitally, I also want us to feel like we are a living, breathing friend, journalism brought alive. Plus, most importantly, media and news on whatever platform it resides is first and foremost about brilliant, original content and sharp journalism. You only win the digital war, in fact any media battle, by cutting through the noise. This is what we are delivering every day, and we will only get stronger. My editorial strategy is focused in 4 key areas. I'll take you through those now. Number 1, the core mission at the heart of the Evening Standard has always been campaigning for Londoners, as well as the city, the businesses and creativity that operate here. We are a voice for this city and its incredible inhabitants, and that voice holds power politically and globally, and we will never lose that influence. This is what drives my editorial decisions every single day. If London needs us, we fight hard. If those in power are letting the city down, then we battle to change and shame their behaviour. This is why we launched Young London SOS in January, seeking to expose the hidden mental health crisis of young people in our city and support those most in need. We were there every single day when we went into this pandemic, and we're going to be there battling to rebuild this city as we come out of it. In the spring, we'll be launching an event series, London Rising, that will allow our commercial partners to be involved in the return to growth. You will hear more of that shortly. Secondly, COVID-19 means local London news matters again. We are ploughing hard into this space. London has been at the heart of this crisis. Everything we do as a city matters, here and globally. Thirdly, putting conversation at the heart of our news telling. Social media means people are used to talking on platforms where their opinion matters. We will share news, not just deliver it. Utilising tech tools, polls, questions, webinars, we will ensure our readers feel in constant conversation with us, driving brand loyalty and engagement. To this end, we have just launched this incredible new commentary platform via Fora, which is going to allow our journalists to talk to our readers directly, ask them questions, Q&As, and pick out their best comments to drive further debate across every topic that we discuss at the Evening Standard, from food, entertainment, rebuilding this city, and COVID-19. Finally, we will grow globally, not just with international news, but targeted content, delivering stories that report from this city. Not just news and politics, but our great theatre, culture, restaurants, creativity, the city and our London football teams, because London fascinates globally. I often talk to the team about local global. We send our news to the world. We are not building an international news business, but instead we focus on our USP, which is our incredible inside knowledge of London, and then send that out to global readers.
I guess I'd just like to finish that I have been a Londoner since I was 19. I've read The Standard nearly every day of my whole life. I feel passionate about its future and the future of journalism. I wrote a column for The Standard about my love of London as we went into lockdown, and I still mean every word I wrote. The warmth, pride, community and loyalty I feel for this city and this incredible legacy brand is something that I will thread throughout The Standard every day. Many thanks.
Thanks, Emily. I'm sure you'll all agree there is a lot to take in there. And you'll be hearing more from Emily in the trade press, but also in the national and London news as she campaigns for change in the capital and focuses on building a better future for us all across 2021. Next up, we have David Cohen, our award-winning lead investigative reporter, telling us why journalism matters to him and why it should also matter to you too.
Journalism matters because truth matters, and truth matters because we need to hold power to account. Without it, corrupt and inept politicians and corporations would go unchallenged. There would have been no Watergate, no expenses scandal. But I believe there is another important reason why journalism matters. We needed to rebalance society, as we have done on the Evening Standard these last 10 years. By revealing deep inequalities in our city, so we shape our city. So journalism is not only the first draft of history, but also the first line of fire in an attempt to keep society fair as well as honest.
I love the idea of journalism being first draft of history. It really puts into context why news brands are so important now and for future generations. David and Emily have both mentioned our campaigning change at Evening Standard. This is something that sits at the core of what we do editorially. And alongside that, it translates through commercial. We can also drive action, change and results. At the end of the last year, commercial came together to discuss what we wanted to stand for. So what is our mission and how will we serve you? We came up with the following. We are the voice of modern London, the destination for brands to connect with valuable audiences for engaging and inspiring content in the capital, the UK and the globe. I hope this resonates as much with you as it does across our commercial team. Combining our editorial purpose with our commercial mission, I will now hand over to Deborah Rosenegg to talk to you about Future London and some exciting developments we have on the horizon.
The Evening Standard holds a unique position in the hearts and minds of Londoners. As you've already heard, contributing to positive impact in our city has always been at the core of our purpose. And in the last decade alone, we've raised up to 50 million for those in need, highlighted inequality in our city, and crusaded for a better London. 2 years ago, we accelerated this commitment to a better London for all with the launch of our award-winning series, Future London. The team consisting of senior editorial and commercial staff working collaboratively with brands and the capital's key stakeholders to deliver high-impact, imaginative change to improve life for Londoners. We created purposeful partnerships with brands, delivering innovative solutions to some of the major challenges facing our city. In the Clean Air project, we explored London's switch to cleaner transport by launching Map My Street. This enabled people to highlight the need for more electric charging points across the city, working with our partner Uber. We will be continuing our focus on the electrification of London, with new projects launching this year, highlighting the city's need for a greener recovery. We highlighted the importance of London's cultural contribution to the city's success with our partner, the Edwardian Group, and celebrated diversity in our city through a cultural photography competition. The Skills Project, in partnership with Google, provided free digital skills training to thousands of Londoners, including a series of free training events for female entrepreneurs. Most recently, we launched our STEM project with Huawei, where we set London new STEM-based challenges each week, exploring how important science, technology, engineering and maths are to London's future economic growth, increasing science literacy amongst young people and enabling the next generation of innovators. The theatre has always been an important focus for the Evening Standard, with our theatre awards running for the last 65 years. At the end of 2020, in recognition of the challenges this industry is facing, we launched our Future Theatre Fund project with our partner TikTok, providing essential financial support and mentoring to young theatre makers and creative talent coming through. We will be announcing the winning recipients of our fund in a virtual live event on March the 3rd, featuring incredible theatre talent and performances. We're also excited to be launching our Stories competition and festival event with our partner Netflix later this year, featuring diverse and authentic London voices, tackling the biggest issues facing our city and supporting the next generation of storytellers. As we reach the 3-year milestone of Future London, we are about to embrace some of the biggest challenges in the history of our city. And in response to this, we are launching a powerful editorial campaign and dynamic event experience called London Rising, which will focus on the most important sectors of the London economy to bring London back to its best in the year ahead. This will involve physical, virtual and interactive events connecting Londoners to innovators and change makers, highlighting powerful ideas to help shape our future. A leadership forum will bring together the city's most authoritative, original and creative voices to deliver ideas for our post-pandemic recovery. This will give brands a powerful platform to demonstrate their thought leadership, engage with influential audiences, and have a positive impact on London's recovery. And we will be sharing more information with you about how you can get involved after today's event.
Great, some really inspiring campaigns from brands that we've all loved working with. Thanks, Deborah. Now for a change of pace, as I hand over to Katie, Dan and Paul. From content solutions to our incredible creative units, Studio 27, to our new digital-first product developments, here's the team to tell you why and how we are progressing our commercial offering.
Welcome to this section of Setting the New Standard. I'm Katie Ingram, Trade Marketing and Insight Director, and I'd like to introduce you to Dan Locke, our Chief Commercial Content Officer, and Paul Mikhailoff, who is our Chief Product Officer, one of our newest recruits, having started with the business just in December. As a media owner with really close relationships with all of our agencies and client partners, we're really fortunate to be able to see a lot of brief and brand strategies in various stages of their life cycles. And we're, of course, really close to the markets and all of the information sources that many of our colleagues are as well. And all of that combined allows us to get a real sense of emerging trends as they establish. For instance, in the last few months, we've seen a real growing focus on diversity and inclusion, which is no surprise based on everything that happened with Black Lives Matter last year. And it's something that's really important to us at the Evening Standard. Today, we want to focus on some of the trends that we've spotted and the way that our business can support brands with some of the new digital products we're bringing in that we've already alluded to today, and the existing portfolio that you already know and love. Dan, let's start with you. If you were to pick out some overriding themes in your position that define the needs of the market at the moment, what areas would you highlight?
Thanks, Katie. We're fully aware that some businesses and industries thrived over the last year. Supermarkets, delivery companies, tech businesses performed well. Yet we know so many more have struggled, waiting eagerly to open up and welcome back their customers, such as live entertainment, arts and culture. We will see some industries surge forward as our country, in the words of the government, focuses on building a better, greener and fairer. So what will help brands be part of the new future, to have a role in our lives, and most importantly, be chosen over their competitors? I think firstly, storytelling. It's never gone away, but now it is more important than ever. Being memorable, sharing a brand's passion, its people, its talent, its vision, or simply why they get what a customer is thinking is important. We all love stories and we love to share them too. Every brand has a story beyond that of their great product or service, but they need to be brave enough to tell that story through advertising and partnerships. Storytelling is going to be key as we look to engage with products and services that we trust, that understand us as the customer and have strong values. Secondly, purpose. COVID and the dramatic political backdrop of Trump and Brexit has fine-tuned our senses and appreciation of what we want and what we don't want in our lives. Brands, there is an opportunity to jump ahead of the pack, build long-lasting connection with audiences through its purpose. Being passionate, adding positively and constructively to people's lives is important, however big or small that is. And thirdly, moments. This through the lens of audiences and a news brand, I believe, is really key. The moment we get back together, the moment we can enjoy the theatre again, the moment we can go on holiday, brands need to think about how they can capture the moment, be relevant and ready when audiences spring back. Moments isn't just about when, it's also about where. Brands need to ensure they are cutting through and being engaged with at the right time. The Evening Standard has been there for every moment of our readers' lives, offering information, inspiration, and entertainment. We have an audience engaged and poised to act at the right moment for your brand.
Thanks, Dan. That's so interesting because you can really see and understand how some of those trends play to the overall aims that advertising has always had, but also how things are emerging and changing as the market is shifting. And it's really, really interesting. Paul, as Chief Product Officer, it's your job to find the answer for brands in the products that we've got. What does that look like at the Evening Standard at the moment?
Yeah, Dan has identified some really interesting themes in his piece, and I think that helping brands to storytell with purpose across digital platforms, in particular mobile, really is at the heart of the Evening Standard's digital future. There's just no question that technology has completely democratized publishing, and the Evening Standard is a progressive publisher who is absolutely focused on enabling brands to engage with audiences at scale through content. Our ambition is to help and support our partners who have stories to tell, to create meaningful value exchanges with our audiences and to guide them to give and get the best from them. We want to do this because not only does it create those meaningful relationships and connections, but also there'll be a trickle-down effect in the effectiveness of supporting advertising. So how have we done that? Well, over the last 6 months, we have made big changes to our digital experience alongside significant innovations to our CMS to create a range of products that are designed to bring brand partners much closer to our community. A great example of this is the Brand Post product that allows brands to publish content via the same CMS as our journalists. And in doing so, they enjoy seamless editorial integration and also great discovery opportunities through organic discovery. So our product range is sort of split into 3 pillars, 3 product lines, and these are designed to offer a raft of options for brands so that we, through our expertise and knowledge, can tailor fit a solution that is specific and tailored to a brand's need and requirements. So the 3 pillars are brand posts, brand sponsored, and brand stories. So Brand Post is our premium thought leadership platform, which, as I've said, allows brands to publish their voice and their views directly onto our CMS. It is completely editorial integrated, which means that it enjoys amazing discovery opportunities as well as organic traffic coming through mechanisms like search and earned media through social. Brand sponsored is everything that you know and love about the Evening Standard, which is all of our sponsored content, be that native, editorial, sponsoring sections, sponsoring sports events, and it's all about driving awareness. And we do this by applying our voice to your message. And again, is giving the very best in contextual and audience targeting. And finally, brand stories, which is our new unique visual content solution that's modeled on an Instagram social storytelling experience. It's delivered over a series of scenes that gives readers a unique way of seeing a showcase of your products, the brand's USPs, and delivering a highly engaging visual showcase of your brand and product range. It's all about your story and your creative, and is served and housed in the most premium placements across our digital platforms. Again, this particular product is optimized for mobile, where we are seeing so much of our traffic coming from. As Dan says, the key is for brands to be in front of their audiences at the right time with the right piece of content. And no one knows our audience better than we do. So we have a huge amount of experience in-house and expertise in-house at Studio 27 to make sure that brands are putting their very best foot forward when they start to embark on a content campaign.
So this all sounds really exciting, and there's obviously a lot going on at the Evening Standard at the moment. We've heard a lot already today about digital first. Dan, you've been at the Evening Standard for a while now and seen lots of kind of iterations of the brand. What does digital first mean for you right now?
Thanks, Katie. And I think it's really important you mentioned the word brand there. The Evening Standard brand, it's iconic. It's part of the fabric of the city. And it's one of the reasons I took this job. I think it's such an exciting brand. And I think understanding that we're now building a business as big as the brand is really important. Doing that through a digital lens is really key for us. We have an audience that's consuming our content, 80% on their mobile. So knowing that where we have strength around entertainment, business, retail and fashion, and now supercharging that across all our platforms, creating fantastic content and giving that to our audience that we know they're engaged with it, but act on it. And it's a big part of their lives is really important. So we're in a really exciting space now to really take what we do well and give that more for brands to work with us to reach that valuable audience.
That's really, great to talk about the brand, and it does mean so much to all of us that work here. I think that's true right across the board. Paul, you're at the other end of the scale, really new to the business. What does digital first mean to you at this point in your Evening Standard career?
Well, I've been at the Evening Standard for as many weeks as Dan has years, so I am very fresh to the brand. But again, everything that Dan said about, kind of the iconic brand that the Evening Standard is. And for me, the big opportunity and what makes me really excited in my role is about making and fostering those connections with brands to our community. We have one of the greatest brands on earth, centered obviously in London and all around the UK increasingly. We have a real unique opportunity with the platforms that we're developing, the technologies, the data that we can employ, the targeting, to really kind of give brands every opportunity to become specialists, journalists in their own right, to sort of take control of their audience, build scale, and really foster close relationships with one of the best communities in the world.
Thanks both. So hopefully you've all learned something or heard something new around the trends of storytelling, purpose and moments, and how the Evening Standard brand can answer some of those things for other brands with products, new products such as brand posts and brand stories, and some of the existing stuff that we already had, you already knew about, that we are putting under a brand sponsored bracket. So we'll hand back to James to close off today. Thanks very much for listening.
So there you have it. Brand posts, brand stories and brand sponsored. More details on all of those products will be available to you after this session today. So we're almost there. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedules to join us today. We really appreciate it. Hopefully that's given you clarity on our purpose, given you lots to consider, and in parts also surprised you. We very much look forward to working even more closely with all of you across this coming year. Before you go, here's how to get involved in our second edition of Be London's Headline to win your client or your brand a Standout London campaign. Thank you from all of us at the Evening Standard, and here's to a successful 2021.
In 2019, the Evening Standard laid out our biggest trade marketing challenge to the advertising industry: to be London's headline. Over 60 imaginative, inspiring and inventive entries later, our judging panel of esteemed creative and industry professionals selected Valspar as our winner. As Parliament was recalled in September of that year, Valspar, the paint company famed for having over 2,000 colours to choose from, painted London with the face of Boris Johnson. Were Londoners feeling cold as ice or breathing a sigh of relief? We absolutely loved this tongue-in-cheek, hyper-relevant creative, and so did the 2.2 million commuters who saw the winning campaign that day. And now we're back for 2021 and we're setting a new challenge. The winners of Be London's Headline this year will not only have the opportunity to be the headline, but also write the story. The digital transformation of the Evening Standard is well underway, and our new opportunity, Brand Posts, gives brands the chance to set the agenda, the opportunity to elevate your engagement with our audience in your own unique voice, and integrate seamlessly with our editorial content. Just like Valspar, this year's winner will get a free cross-platform campaign. You'll win a cover wrap, homepage takeover, presence across our vendor network, and this year the addition of a brand post article that will be published on the homepage of standard.co.uk, all appearing on a day of your choosing. A passion for London and all that it has to offer runs through all our readers, and we know that they can't wait to get back to the restaurants, theatres, pubs and bars that make our city special, and that's starting to feel just within reach. As London rebuilds, commuters return and entertainment economy gets a much needed boost, this is your chance to make a statement, be present and let London hear your voice. To be in with a chance of winning Be London's Headline and writing the story, we're asking you to submit your creative ideas for a cover wrap and tell us a bit about how you would use your brand post article. We've got all the details you need to enter, including the terms and conditions, on our website, and we'll send them to you soon. So,
who will be London's headline this year?